Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Well, we have another teaser dropping today, January 3rd. Here we go.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family?
No.
See, nothing that these two say can be taken at face value. Sure, he's saying no, but I'm sure that this interview is going to follow up where he's going to re-emphasize his half-in, half-out solution. Make no mistake, they would come back in a heartbeat, but contingent on their conditions, and I don't see that happening.
They feel as though it's better to keep us somehow as the villains.
Wow, that concept sounds so familiar. Where have I heard that before?
Is this idea of polarity, where if you love me, you don't have to hate her. And if you love her, you don't need to hate me.
Meghan knew exactly what she was doing here. She thought she was pretty clever by making herself look like the poor victim, in which painting Catherine as the actual villain, because then after she proceeded to say that it was Kate that made her cry. But not to be disparaging or anything, because Meghan is so classy. Of course, she told Harry to say that they've been painted as the villains in all of this drama in order to gaslight people, because that's exactly what they try to do each and every time. This interview is no different. Make no mistake, but Meghan is behind whatever Harry is saying, as well as what's going to be featured in that book. She's going to make sure that any kind of bridge, raft, life jacket is unavailable to Harry in order for him to come back to the family. And it's clear that Meghan is making Harry think this is all his wonderful idea in doing what he's doing. If Harry had a brain cell left, then he would take a look around and see that she did this with her own family. My guess is that he understands that and is okay with it because he's so jealous and bitter of his brother and his father that, to be honest, I think this is going to be his push to get Charles to remove his titles in order for him to come back to the public with something else to whine and moan about. He can then come forward and say, look what they did to me. They did the same thing to my mother. History is repeating itself and blah, blah, blah.
They've shown absolutely no willingness to reconcile.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Oh, is that so? It looks like all that California fresh air has erased a lot of his memory. Let's not forget that for a while, family and friends could not reach Harry because Meghan had made him change his number. So you mean to tell me that the Sussex Rhoda, aka the PR machine for the Meghan and Harkle show, had been lying with all the olive branches that were extended by the family? I mean, we do know that the Harkles leak their own stories whenever they have any engagement with the family. They did it with Gayle King and also with their mouthpiece, Omid Scobie. What about the family meeting them more than halfway by offering solutions for their security dilemma? By allowing Meghan and Harry to go stay with Prince Charles and Camilla during the Jubilee. If Harry was really genuine about reconciling, he would have taken that opportunity to go and stay there in order to hash all of this out. What about Catherine trying to be the peacemaker here when it was Prince Philip's funeral? It is clear that she took a step back to walk behind the brothers in order to give them space so they could engage with one another. Or how about the many times that they have wished this insignificant person a happy birthday over other members of the royal family? But when it came down to staying one extra day to celebrate the Queen's 95th birthday, Harry swiftly went back to California after Prince Philip's funeral and subsequently snubbed the Queen's birthday during a time when she was grieving and needed her family around her the most. Or what about the Queen extending that olive branch for Meghan and Harry to join her this past summer? Again, if Harry was really serious about reconciling, he would not have snubbed that final invitation. And even in the drama that Meghan and Harry had caused in the final moments of the Queen's life, Prince Harry was given an invite by his father and brother to go sit and break bread. And even after the Queen's passing, Harry had a moment alone with his family that he was so inclined to jet out of there so quickly because his precious Meghan wasn't around with him. And even in the Queen's death, her wishes was to allow Harry to wear his uniform. Harry has been given enough opportunities to reconcile with his family, but it appears that he does not want to meet them even 25% of the way. He wants it his way or it's no way. What can the family do aside from just ignoring him? Because that's the best thing that they can do. Even if the family does come forward to apologize in some way to keep peace, it's not going to be good enough for them. They're going to find some kind of fault and they're going to complain about something else. You just can't win with people like this. So the best thing to do is what the royal family is doing, and that's ignore them. Because clearly the family is looking better and better every day the more that they keep their dignity and not engage with this whining and moaning. My dad used to always say the worst thing that you could do to a person is ignore them. And for a while, I could never understand what that actually meant. But this is a prime example of how powerful staying silent really is. And I think that this is now backfiring on the Harkles because they're digging themselves deeper into a very unpopular hole.
Just looked at my feed and I saw Harry talking to Anderson Cooper. Is this new content? Is this 2023? I feel like it's Groundhog Day. I woke up, I'm Bill Murray, and the groundhog is telling me what the weather is again. Can we be done now? When do we get to be done? 2024? We watched it. We got it. We're sorry. Racism exists. The monarchy is archaic. You had a rough time of it. Here's a couple $100 million for your podcast, book, and your documentary, and go with God and enjoy your life with your beautiful wife and family in the United States of America. Since you can't stand those people so much, you never have to speak to them again if you don't want to, and you never have to go to the UK again. We want the Ferber method. We want the babies to just stop crying and we're going to leave them in the other room, but you guys just want to be held and picked up and keep whining. This has been like the most global publicity tour for the royal family. So if that was not the goal, maybe we can shut this down. It's a proprietary formula where we go public to speak about the decision to go public about wanting our privacy. Basta.
When silence is betrayal.
I want to go back to this for a second. One, Harry is quite smug in this. And two, I'd like to point out the many times that Harry has been silent that is far worse than the betrayal that he thinks his family is committing against him and his liar wife. Traitor Harry sat in silence at Prince Philip's funeral, knowing that The Me You Can't See was premiering the following month, in where he was trashing his brother and father of this genetic pain they have caused him. Or how about most recently, when the monarch passed away, being with his family, knowing that in 2 months' time, 6 hours worth of lies and trashing the Queen's legacy was going to be global. Not only was his silence with his family betrayal, but also having the power to stop it, and he chose not to. His loyalty is not his family, his loyalty is to the mighty dollar. And that's the only reason why he wants back in with his father and brother.
I want a family, not an institution.
Well, Harry, since you consider your family an institution, you still have Meghan's family. Samantha and Thomas Markle are perfectly good brother and sister replacements. You can start there. Or how about going with your children to go see Thomas Markle and giving them the opportunity to get to see the remaining family that they have left? I think that would make sense. They can meet Cousin Nick, Uncle Fred. You can go fishing with Cousin David. Cousin Trish could bake you an apple pie. I'm sure Meghan would love to reconnect with the Caucasian side of the family. But if that doesn't fit the Sussex brand, you have Doria's side of the family, which I am sure to get to know a real-life prince now that Harry has been woken by Meghan, and I'm sure all that unconscious bias has disappeared. Since these two are realizing that they can't exploit the royal family anymore, they're going to need to find a new grift or bandwagon to jump on to make money.
C. A always be B, C closing. Always be closing.
Or in Meghan and Harry's world, to be successful, always be complaining. What I do find satisfying is that Harry and Meghan are getting a taste of their own medicine. Harry and Meghan are using the media to speak out in order to communicate with their family, just like how Thomas Markle used the media in order to communicate with Meghan. So if silence is really a betrayal, then I guess Harry and Meghan are equally guilty of doing the exact same thing to Thomas Markle. Doesn't feel too good, does it? But of course they don't see it this way because they are the forever victims. One thing is for sure, that America's patience is running thin with this couple. And I am willing to guarantee that the reviews are going to be brutal. And I'm here for it. Anyhow, that's all I got for you today. Leave your thoughts below. I'll be back soon with more content. Until then, be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It was such a fraud.